So, hello and welcome to Bold Business Podcast. This is Ross Jones, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Dr. Cher Casey, professional declutterer and founder of the Mindful Organiser. Hi, Cher.
Hello.
It's lovely for you to join me. Thank you so much on this beautiful sunny day.
It's a pleasure to be here.
And you're in York.
Yes.
But you're not originally from York. Tell me how you came to be in York.
I am originally from California.
Woo-hoo.
And Northern California, the ski slopes of Lake Tahoe. So very far from the sunny beaches, although I did, move directly from Santa Cruz near San Francisco when I came over. So I came over here to actually follow my dream of doing my graduate studies in history of medieval art.
Wow. I guess it's interesting because, well, I want to know what made you interested in medieval arts, because I can't imagine there's much in California.
No, there's not at all. And I think with history of art, it's one of the best fields to actually study in situ, to kind of be on site and see how Gothic arches actually work, or what tombstones look like and so forth. So I took a gap year between high school and university, and I lived in Germany and just traveled around Europe. And I was so excited to just be immersed in all of the art and the architecture and just soaked all the culture in. And when I started university, I saw a course for history of European art. And I thought, that looks fun. And in the States, we don't have to declare a major. We don't have to decide what we want to do until we're quite far into our studies, about 2 years. So it's a real kind of exciting exploratory time. So I just dove in and took one class, and that was it. It was, about 20 years in academia from there.
Wow. So did you do that in York?
I did my undergraduate studies in California, University of Santa Cruz, California. And then I did a year abroad in Germany, and then went back and finished my studies in Santa Cruz. And then I worked as an academic teaching assistant for many years at Santa Cruz, and then decided to stop all of that and then come over and do my graduate studies, so it started as a master's and then kind of found a great topic and snowballed into a PhD.
So that's fantastic. But I want to know how you chose York, or did York choose you?
How did I choose York? Yeah, I was very enchanted by York. I knew that it had a really wonderful history of art program, and specifically the Center for Medieval Studies is what drew me here. And it's just a wonderful collection of academics that study everything from medieval history, art, anthropology, like literally any medieval topic, medieval Latin, textile studies, everything is carried out here in York. It's really, really impressive. I came here on a beautiful sunny day in August, and I just thought, this is where I want to live. I took a nice stroll on the city walls, went into the Minster, and I fell in love. So, and I'm still completely enchanted by the city.
Okay. So you do
13 years on.
And so I guess I've been to San Francisco just once actually. And I just remember it was just thick fog, and I'd expected it to be sunshine, and everybody was making fun of me because I was obviously an English person who wasn't used to I remember I had goosebumps because I was so cold, because I thought it would be hot. But you've acclimatized well to the English weather then.
No, I wouldn't say. I still miss sunny days and kind of clear cut seasons. But for being a study, being here to do my studies, the rain and cold and grey is ideal. So it was great study weather.
Yeah, that's true. You don't get distracted and want to be outside. So, and what's your doctorate in then? Is that in medieval studies?
Yeah, the history of medieval art.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And so does that mean we could find a book by you or something similar?
My thesis is, it's available at the minute it's embargoed, so with the possibility of publishing, but if people are interested, they can go to the University of York and look it up through the archives, and then it can be requested.
Oh, fabulous. I love that. I love that. So how did you need to tell us now, you've spent all this time in academia studying the past, Chaucer and the likes, and then now you are the founder of the Mindful Organiser. So what happened to inspire that significant change?
Yeah, well, I kind of had a history of organizing. When I was in California, I kind of pieced together lots of jobs and found myself doing a bit of home organizing back in 2010, 2012, on the side, not as an official business, and absolutely loved it. And when I
When you say,
moved,
can I stop you there? What do you mean by that? Just tidying people's houses up?
no, actually, I used to work with families, babysitting and nannying, and on the side, the kids are playing. You're like, oh, I'm just going to reorganize the the pantry, as you do.
Okay.
um, and then, or I'm going to sort out the Legos while the kids are playing, or I'm going to, assemble the board game when we put it away, type of thing. I started getting more referrals from the parents, and then kind of branching out into other families and people that didn't have kids. And I quite like just the process of letting go of things that don't serve you anymore, kind of refining and then organizing in a way that makes life just easier, things easier to find. And so I started with that. And then when I finished my PhD, I was just in a really I'd hit academic burnout, I think is the best way to describe it, because leading up to my final write-up year, so I'd had my daughter, I went on mat leave, and I had a year off, and then I had a year and a half to finish, but in the middle of my mat leave, we had COVID lockdown. So it was 2020. So things just got really difficult, having a family, a young one, being in isolation and all of these things. So yeah, then I had to kind of segue into becoming, very, very serious academic time and finishing my write-up. I had all the research done, and it was a matter of pulling together about 8 years of research, incredibly sleep deprived, trying to be a really present and loving parent while also trying to pull all of these ideas together into a finished product. So I had about 14 months of a final write-up year, really tired, trying to parent, trying to maintain a house. I've got a dog. Obviously, I've got a wonderful husband. Everything was just kind of felt like it was coming apart at the seams. Once I submitted, I officially hit like academic burnout, and it was like I didn't want to touch anything to do with writing, reading books. I was just done. So as a way of, I was kind of granted this time, about a year, to kind of get myself back together, start looking into how to pursue an academic career after finishing the PhD. And I just had no desire to go back to academia. And while my daughter was in childcare 3 days a week, I started going through my own home and decluttering things, organizing in kind of a very systematic manner. I was part of a membership called the Declutter Hub, and just really kind of worked on myself, working on my home. And I just was like, this is amazing. I really still love doing this. And for me, the decluttering was my own form of self-care. So I was able to the only thing I had control of in my life was my home. And so I was like, I'm going to manage my home in the best way that I can. And because I'd had such a prolonged period of mat leave plus the write-up, so it was about 2.5 years of not being able to do the little house projects I wanted. And I mean, it wasn't chaotic, probably to most people's standards, but it felt chaotic to me. And because clutter is relative, it was having a negative effect on me. So that was my way of kind of regaining my own kind of self, just grounding myself as a person.
Yeah. It's really interesting because in my work as a business coach, I'm very much aware of the impact, and I share this with clients, that the impact of our environment on our mindset, on the way we feel and the way we think and the things then therefore that we do, whether that's our physical location or the books we read, the stuff we listen to, or the people we hang out with. But I can see how your home space can have a massive impact on your mental state, and that actually decluttering it and getting rid of stuff that is no longer serving you, as you say, can have a massive effect. And have you, I guess I know you said you don't touch academia anymore, or haven't, or had a reluctance to, but with your academic way of thinking, have you actually done the research into the impact of decluttering on life, basically?
Yeah, absolutely. I think our environments have a huge impact on us. And I think that's why I love the work that I do, because when I work with clients, I go into their homes. We start in the places usually where they're most triggered. So it could be their kitchen, their wardrobe, their hallway. And we kind of start decluttering. And within, a very short period of time, the spaces are really starting to change. And in the beauty of the work is that as the spaces change, the people change as well. So there's this kind of overall transformation by the end of the session. And in a way, it's taking a really complex problem and creating a solution and working that solution out. And that I love that. The complexity of it is so fascinating because every person is different. The type of clutter they have in their home varies, as does the reasons why they want an organized home.
Do your clients, do they know that decluttering is a solution, or are you speaking with them about something different and you suggest it to them? Do they know that they need help, or because sometimes you can get so used to an environment being as it is that you don't actually realize the impact it's having? And I just wondered whether there's some problem that they're having and you actually make the suggestion to them and they think, okay, let's give it a go. And then they're like, wow, this is amazing. Or do they always come to you knowing the
people
problem?
come to me, yeah, with the intention of decluttering because everyone's got a tipping point. And I think for when people contact me, they've kind of hit that point, or maybe they've been there for a while and they didn't realize there's professional help out there. So they get in touch and we declutter. But I think what the outcome of the decluttering can vary as well. The flip side of an organized space means people are saving time. They might be saving money. I worked with a woman recently who's a single mom of 2 girls. We worked on her laundry space and talked about her laundry cycle. And that was revolutionary for her because she spends so much time doing big batches of laundry that it was dominating big chunks of her time. So we kind of broke down the steps and talked about how to make it more manageable and a small, little and often task. And that has changed her life. It's just a small thing. So that was an outcome of the decluttering. And that happens when you start streamlining and organizing spaces and creating homes for things. All of a sudden, things that take a long time and can be really confusing, like a laundry cycle, become really easy. And that's what I love, is kind of helping people, making their lives a bit easier in really small and big ways.
Yeah, I think it's amazing, Cher. I do think, so you maybe think there about this, your customer, your client, with the laundry, that, it's often that we just carry on doing things that our parents used to do, don't they? That maybe some people had, I don't, they always had a wash day on a particular day of the week or the month. And then they pass that and your children just copy that. And so sometimes we can do things or arrange things in our house or keep things just because our parents did. And I think that what you're doing there is just really helping break that sort of generational cycle, if you like. And I can imagine the massive impact that would have.
It's oftentimes people, they don't even know that they have adopted these traits. Sometimes it's around money. If their parents didn't grow up with a lot of money, they kept a lot of things kind of just in case.
Yeah.
They passed that trait down to their children, who are completely financially secure and they keep small things just in case because their parents did.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of this poverty consciousness around objects that then was passed on, and then they're passing it on to their children as well. And sometimes, that cycle, as soon as you kind of nip it in the bud and talk to people about items, and if it's about money, breaking it down and saying, all right, how much is this object worth? If you do need it again in the future, how much are you willing to pay to get a new ball of yarn or a new spatula, something like that? So for example, people who didn't grow up with many things, that's a big trait that you see. And this is very, very common with people who grew up kind of in World War II, post-war.
Yeah.
And then who are now having grandchildren. So you can kind of see it through multiple generations.
Yeah. I remember my mother was a war baby, and she had this thing where she had the food cupboard. I remember, and I was speaking about it recently, actually, it was just full. And there were overflowings over this as well. It's sort of, there'd be bits on the counters and things. But if you dared eat a tin of tomatoes or something, immediately she had to go out and buy two more, you know.
Mm.
So, and the other thing that she used to do was keep bags. And I remember she had like a cupboard under the stairs with this huge bag, massively expandable bag full of bags. She went away on holiday once and I stayed in her house to look after it, and I cleared away these bags. And when she came back, she was furious that I'd got rid of all these bags. So yeah, I hope I've broken that cycle, but sometimes you never know, do you? So you need somebody like you to come and find the blind spots, really.
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny. It's funny you mentioned bags because bags is something that everybody has a lot of. I was working with a client a month or so ago, and we went through bags, and I was like, "Do you have bags anywhere else?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, I've got some behind the second, the fridge over here in the utility room." I was like, "How about your car?" "Yes, I've got some in there." And then she had another car. Her car wasn't getting an MOT that day. And she's like, I've got more in that car and I've got some in the garage, and we got all of the bags together. And this is the beauty of decluttering. Once you see how many of one category you have, you're able to kind of lay everything out and be like, wow, I've got this many cloth ones, this many plastic ones, these many, different types of bags. And then you can the decluttering can happen really naturally. You're able to let go. But bags, carrier bags is just something that everybody has loads of. So your mom's not alone.
I didn't think she was. It's that kind of generation. Well, anyway, so how do people find out more about you?
I have a website, themindfulorganizer.com. I'm really active on socials, primarily on Instagram and Facebook, as well as LinkedIn. Those are the best ways to connect.
Okay, fabulous. I'll have to check out those sites. So, yeah, get in touch with Cher if you want some professional help with decluttering. It sounds exciting. What's the future hold? What's the next year hold for you, Cher?
Oh, it's a really big, exciting year. Got lots and lots of exciting projects. I have recently actually partnered with a big removals company to be kind of their point person and their decluttering consultant. Decluttering can be great during any period of someone's life, but particularly when they're moving, because there's the opportunity to let go of things, and especially when it's when someone's downsizing, it's not just it's not a nice thing to do. It becomes a necessity to actually let go and revise things. But I think one of the things that I do want to emphasize is that decluttering is not just about what you're letting go of, because people kind of coil back and just, my things, I don't want to get rid of anything. But it's about kind of editing what you have in your spaces so that you're able to appreciate and love the things that mean a lot to you. So it's about letting go of things you don't need, but celebrating the things that you do have and making space for those things. And also kind of just readjusting your home to fit you now and today, and who you're kind of looking to become. Oftentimes our homes become a mirror of who we used to be, and our life has taken a different path, but our homes and the things inside our homes don't reflect who we are now. It's just such a beautiful transformation to watch people get kind of in touch with who they are, who they want to be, and have their home start to reflect that.
Yeah, I love that. It's like it's a mirror of our identity. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, thank you. It's been lovely speaking with you, and really exciting. The journey sounds amazing. And I just want one question, actually. Are you planning to go back to San Francisco, or is this your home now?
Oh, well, let's see. I would like to go back. I think we're really happy here. My daughter's 5, so she's just started reception. My husband is from Ireland, so there's always kind of the possibility that we are going to move somewhere. But for the time being, we really love York. We love what it offers our family, and dog walks and adventures by the sea, and also just the access to different countries and cultures over on this side of the world. But who knows? Yeah, we'll see.
Who knows? Yes, love that. So I would just like to say thank you again, Cher, for joining me today. And I wish you all the best with your mindful organising.
Oh, thank you, Roz. It's been really nice being here.